Hello everyone, photographer Andredesignz here with a new Lightroom video. So I was just about to edit these images of a couple, the wedding I've done recently, and I was thinking to myself, let's do a video about shooting in auto, right? This image and most of these images in the photo session was shot in auto. I was using the Nikon Z6 and my settings was actually corrupt. When I'm shooting in manual, it looks blurred. Well, not blurred, it looks, well, both blurred and washed out. I wasn't sure what was happening. So for the entire session, I was using two cameras. I was using the Z750 and the Nikon Z6. And when I'm using, the Nikon Z6 had the 17 to 35, I believe. Yeah, I think that's the lens I had on it. And the Nikon 750, as you can see here, it was the 85mm. And you know, I'm always shooting at 1.8, but in this situation, you know, it would not work. All right, so I was shooting in auto, and if you look at the settings right here, it says 800 for the shutter, 7.1 for the aperture, 100 for the ISO. And if you look at the image, it's in focus. I mean, it's sharp, right? And it's sharp because I'm shooting at 7.1 for the aperture, and you can see the background is in focus because I'm shooting at 7.1. All right, another thing, a lot of professional photographers will tell you that, hey, do not shoot in auto, shoot in manual. There is nothing wrong with shooting in auto. If you're in a situation where you're not sure what settings you should be shooting at, it's best to put your camera in auto, take the photo, and the camera will tell you the exact settings that you should be using, right? When you understand your camera settings, then you shoot in manual. But if you're just learning, it's best to put your camera in auto, and then you'll understand what settings you should use in a certain environment, right? So there's nothing wrong with shooting in auto. Just ensure that you're shooting in RAW so you can adjust your images appropriately, right? All right, so let's go over some of these images. I'm not going to go over all of them because I have like 141 images here. I really don't want to go through all of them, but I just want to show you guys that nothing is wrong with shooting in auto when you have a lot of light, like a lot of sun. Nothing is wrong with shooting in auto. All right, so for this image, I'm going to do a quick edit, right? So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to click on auto. The first thing I'm going to do is click on auto. All right. The second thing, I'm going to go down to dehaze, and I'm going to just pump up the dehaze a little bit so the image can look rich. And then I'm going to go to the exposure and bring up the exposure a little bit. Good. And then I'm going to bring out the shadows. So I'm going to go to shadows and I'm going to bring up the shadows a little bit right there. Good. All right. I think I might go back with the dehaze a little bit right there. Good. So good. The image looks good. The dress looks a little bit washed out, so I'm just going to bring the white up a little bit right there. And look at that. Look at that. So I'm going to hit the backspace button. It's right up, well, not the backspace, the slash. There's a slash right next to the backspace button. That gives you the before and after. So look, that's the before. Look at the dress. After. See that? We have detail in the dress. So most times I would not suggest to shoot at 1.8 if you want to retain the quality, if you want to retain the texture in the model's dress or the bride's dress or anybody at all that you're shooting. It's good to shoot at a very high aperture, right? So right now there's nothing else I think I need to do with this image. I don't really think I need to do any retouching, so that's good. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to apply this same settings to all of these images right now, okay? So I'm going to hold down on this one, and then I'm going to press shift on the keyboard, and then I'm going to come right up here, and then I'm going to click on, ensure that you're in develop, and then I'm going to click sync. So this option here syncs everything that I've done to this image right here. So I'm going to sync it to everything. Alright, it's taking a little while. It's a lot of images. I might just speed it up a little bit or not. Alright, good. So it's now applied to all the images. So, alright, so what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to delete the images that I don't want, right? So this first image that I was working at, it looks good, but I don't like how he's kind of leaning over like that a little bit. So this one looks better. So I'm going to go back to the original image and I'm going to hold on shift and press X. Or you can maybe just press X on your keyboard and it goes to the second image. So this image looks better. I think I want to bring out the shadows a little bit more in his face. Right there, good. And then I'm going to go to the second image, well, the third image. It's basically the same thing, so I'm just going to hold on shift and press X and just get rid of the images I don't want. This one looks good as well. Yes, I'm going to leave that one. So I'm going to go over to this one now. Her eyes are closed. I'm going to open that one. So basically, I had them walking towards me and having a conversation, basically. So that's what I was doing. So most of these images are going to be deleted. This one is a nice image, but I don't like the shadow right there in her face. But I can just do that a little bit more. Good. I'm just going to leave that one. I might go in Photoshop and fine tune that one. This one looks better. Seeing that we don't have a lot of, we don't have like a shadow right here. So I think I could, let me just click on auto and see what happens. Oh no. I'm just going to pull up the exposure a little bit for this one. I'm going to go, I want the sky to be a little bit blue. So I'm going to come down to the colors right here and then click on blue. And then the saturation for the blue sky. Good. Alright, so I'm going to press U because I want this image. So I'm going to unflag the image. This one, I'm going to delete this one. Alright, so if you notice, if you look right here for this image, because I'm shooting in auto, it actually changes the shutter again. So each time the light comes in and goes out, the aperture is going to change. The aperture is going to change, the shutter is going to change, but your ISO will never change, right? So, as I said before, it's good to practice to shoot in auto, but when you're shooting in auto, just ensure that you're paying attention to the settings. So when you familiarize yourself with the settings, then you can go in manual and shoot all day long because you have an understanding of what the settings should be. Alright? This is one of the reasons I am not going to say, hey, I'm not going to buy a lens that is f4. I mean, a lens at f4 is awesome, to be honest with you, because you'll get sharp images. The images the background may not be blurred out, but honestly, you should not be focusing on that. You should be focusing on getting a really nice image, a crispy image, and making your clients happy. Alright, so I'm going to go on to the other images. Alright. So these, I did not apply the settings to those, so that's why they're still like this. This image is nice, but I don't like her face expression. You have to pay attention to those things. The face expression, if their lips and if their face look funny, you have to be careful of those images. You can't add them to the batch of images when you're shooting. Alright, so I did not sync my camera perfectly. This is the Z6 and I was using the 17 to 35mm lens f4, and look at the image. The image looks really good. It looks a little soft. The reason why it's like this is because I think because they were jumping. Even though it was at 16,000 well 1,600 for the shutter, because they were jumping, it looks that way. Or maybe it's just the lens. Let me just come up a little bit more and check out this one. This one looks a bit soft as well. I wasn't shooting in auto, I was shooting in manual for this. And to be honest with you, if I was shooting in manual, if I was shooting in auto, I'm sure the image would look much different. Alright, so I'm not going to delete this image. I'm going to work with it. Let me just go back to basic. And then I'm going to straighten the image a little bit to about right there. I'm going to press auto. And there's nothing else I need to do with that. This one, Looks a bit soft as well. I think I like this image. I'm not gonna delete this one either. That one looks good. You see the rich colors. Once I press auto, you see the rich colors. It looks really good. I'm going to this one. So this is the Z6 I'm using again. I was at 27mm. They're actually doing a selfie. I had them hold on to the lens while I take the photo, and I was at, well, the same 640, and I was shooting at f4 because it's a f4 lens. So I'm gonna go to auto and see what it looks like, and let me just zoom up and see. Alright, so it looks really sharp, and that's good. I'm going to this one. I don't like this one, so I'm gonna delete that one, delete that one, delete that one. This one looks good, so I'm gonna click auto for this. I'm gonna bring down the blocks a little bit, like right there. Good. Alright, so most of these images are the same thing. So it's good to take like 4 or 5 of the same images just to ensure that, you know, you get one that is spot on. Alright. Alright, this one I was using the 85mm again. And as you see, well, I was using the D750. And as you see, I was shooting auto again. So what happened is that the sun went in a little bit. So it adjusted it to 250. And it went to f4. Alright, let me just click on auto for this one. It looks okay, but I don't like the idea of his face looking like that, so I'm gonna delete that one. Alright, so this is another thing I don't like about shooting when the sun is coming directly at them. The shadow. I hate to shoot with the shadow right there. So what I have to do now is to go in Photoshop and use content aware and get rid of that. I do not want to do all these editing, but I just have to. So I'm just gonna go over to well, this image is not in focus. So it's a nice image, but nah, not gonna go with it. I must have another one here. Alright, this one, let me check this one. This one is soft as well. You know what? I'm not going to delete this one. I'm going to keep this one. Alright, I'm going to go over to Photoshop and I'm going to remove the shadow. That's my shadow actually. Alright, so I'm going to go over to the patch tool. I'm just going to make the selection right here. Then I'm going to hold on shift and then backspace. For content aware, then enter. Good, so that's gone. And then I'm just gonna save. Saving, good. Go over back to a Lightroom, and then let me press U because I flagged the image. Alright, so this is the after and this is the before. Good. So that looks good. So to be honest with you, there are times that your photos are going to look soft. I mean, that's okay at times. Sometimes you can still add them in if it's not that bad. So yeah. So let me go on to the other one. Alright, so I'm definitely not going to use this one. This one I was shooting with the Z6 again. And it looks soft. It looks really soft. But I don't need that image. So I'm going to go with that one. So I'm back again with the 750. D750, and this looks sharp enough. Let me just get rid of some of these things from the models, from the bride's face. Alright. I'm going to go over to the groom's face as well. So if you want really sharp images, sometimes it's best to go up with your aperture. Because, you know, the higher you go, the sharper the image. Alright, so I'm going to press auto on this one. And then I'm going to raise the exposure a little bit right there. Then shadows. And then I'm going to go to dehaze. And that's it. I'm going to crop the image to about right here. Good. Alright, let me just go on to another image. Alright, so I'm just giving you an idea that, I mean, it's okay for you to shoot in auto at times when you're not sure of your settings. So I'm not going to go through all the images I've mentioned before. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. And yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. Friday I'm coming with a new retouch video, so stay tuned for that. Alright, so thank you guys for watching and have a good one.
When the night is over